What's up, everybody? Addison here. Alongside me is Janice. What's happening over there?
Well,
Huh?
Janice just came in from doing a rain dance outside.
That's cool.
Yeah, you know
What does that
why?
look
We
like? I'm
haven't
trying
had.
to imagine that. For the listeners, what is?
I, this is how that works out, everybody. Maine for late spring, early summer, we had 15 or 17 consecutive weekends of rain. It was redunculous.
Yeah, you guys are
And
getting rain, and Pennsylvania, where I'm at, was getting crushed every day.
Yep. And so
Not to brag.
now
Not to brag.
what we've gone through is a forest drought. For over a month and a half, we haven't had like any rain. So what should have been a banner triple quadruple bloom season in the heat of the summer, July, but August and September here in Maine can get pretty darn hot.
You're gonna have a later
So,
season, a longer later, right? You're hoping for it. We were talking
well,
about this, so
listen, my
I've had the
intuition.
banner year. Me and some other members of the group community, but you're,
Yeah, you have.
I had
Don't you
so
wait.
much.
I'm still gonna beat you.
I took a couple weeks off, everyone, just so you know. I haven't foraged in a few weeks, so sorry. That's why I have slowed down on the photographs and updates. So everyone else is doing a good job updating us, though. So what do you think about
Well, Maine is drier than a
about
popcorn fart right
Maine? What
now.
about north of Maine? Cause
Well,
or were you just in like a
interesting you
bad,
should
or
say.
were you in a bad pocket?
I No, listen, you know me, I travel throughout New England. I've already dipped down to Massachusetts and New Hampshire. I've been in southern Maine during the week, every weekend now, every week for probably 4 months.
Yeah.
And it's even dry down there. And when I come home on the weekends, in June is when I forage probably, I don't know, 50 pounds of chanterelles, the first couple weeks. And usually the chanterelle run will last, June, July, August, sometimes maybe even into September a little bit up here in Maine on my foraging spots.
Yeah.
But haven't had a comeback because it's drier than a popcorn fart.
Yeah.
So, I made a joke that, with some of my Maine Myco friends that we all need to go outside and do a rain dance and get some rain. I don't care if it's a sun shower, because as I was telling Addie prior to this, I'm about ready to call these volunteer fire departments and have them do a hose practice into some of these trails
Yeah, I
because
mean, that's
the soil
sounds like me
moisture
last year, in
content.
the beginning of the year
Yeah,
last year. That's what happened to me.
yeah, the soil, it's not so much. Listen, when you go into the woods and it rains, the best place to be is hiking if it's a rain and there's no danger of lightning, because the canopy protects you, right?
Yeah.
That canopy is also stopping the rainwater from getting into the spots that we need. Okay, so we need a couple good days of soaking rain up here. So we've got a little bit of a sun shower going on, and there was my little happy dance that I did outside. I was all excited. I felt like a little kid getting ready to jump in a puddle because it was raining outside finally.
Well,
So tomorrow,
so what do you think?
I'm heading up to the Allagash Wilderness, which is at the very edge of Tipper, Maine, right on the Canadian border, St. John River Valley, all that kind of stuff. And when I was a little girl, that was one of the logging camps when I was a baby, actually, that my godfather, my great uncle, ran and built. And so I feel, I love going up there, and I
Yeah.
love kayaking with my cousin Frank
Do you just
down
feel
the Fish
connected
River.
to that area?
Yeah, I listen. When you're from New England, it
Hmm.
doesn't matter where you live. As we discussed before, I've lived in California. I've lived in multiple places, even the Middle East. So New England calls to you,
Yeah, I've
when
never
it
been yet.
calls, yeah, it calls its children home. And if you've never been to Maine before, it's not just about the lobsters. It's about, Mount Katahdin. It's about, the Allagash. The Allagash is breathtaking, and the air is crisp and clean. It's,
See that
yeah.
to me,
It's
like,
home. I
yeah,
just got goosebumps just
I
talking about it.
know.
That's
I'm
how
just like,
deeply embedded I am
it sounds like you're
in this state.
describing like the, deep like center of Pennsylvania to me, where it's just no man's land, just full of trees and mountains. No one can hear you scream if they wanted to. type,
Yeah,
but
that's the
beautiful,
Allagash.
but
Nobody's gonna
beautiful,
hear you.
but
Nobody's
beautiful.
gonna hear you. And it is. It's
Yeah,
absolutely stunning to see nature in all its wonder. What's
yeah,
also great about it is it's boreal forests. You've got some really old trees up
yeah.
there.
We don't have that as much in our state because chopped it all down.
Yeah,
Logged
that
it all.
sucks.
All we have is preserves. So a lot of the large trees, old forests, you would say, are around like swamps and creeks, because it just wasn't worth their time going all the way down in the swamp to get these things. So the swamp oaks are still large, stuff like that. But
You, you know what I
it,
find odd about
it's
that
pretty
is
wild.
as a New Englander, Pennsylvania to me is steel.
That too,
Okay.
though. It was
Yeah, steel production.
there's a ton of gold.
Maine,
There's a ton of gold in Pennsylvania. It's just you're not
yeah,
allowed to
mining
mine
and
for it.
steel.
It's illegal.
Mining and
Yeah.
steel. Mining and steel.
Where there's coal,
Um,
there's other minerals. But have you ever heard of the town that's still on fire, Centralia? Have you ever heard of that?
the what town? What's the name
There's
of
a
the town?
town in Pennsylvania called Centralia, and it's still on
Nope.
fire. There was a bad coal mine caught on fire,
And it's still on
or they
fire?
burnt it on fire. They did something. They burnt this thing, and they lit it on fire, and it's still fire to this day. And 3 people are still living in that town because they've lived there since they were born. So they're legally allowed to live there. But once they go, the town's going to be officially shut down. Yeah, it's
No
famous around
kidding.
here. You can drive to it, and
Well, the funny thing is that Maine is known for its timber industry.
yeah.
But we are stewards. We're stewards.
No, they hacked all our trees. That's how they built all the cities in New York and Philadelphia. All that was early built with Penn Woods, Pennsylvania. That's what it means in I forget what language.
Well, I think that's because Rockefeller and all those guys, when they were building the railroad,
Yeah, well, Sylvania means woods,
Pennsylvania.
and William Penn was given the gift of the entire state, basically, not the entire, but most of the state, from his father who died. And William Penn was actually cool, so he was nice to everybody, the Native Americans. So, long story short, he did another deal with the Native Americans and bought like Ohio or something, Ohio River, like. So it goes back. There's so much history, but yeah, where the rivers meet. Ohio River. I think it's where the 2 rivers
Yeah.
meet. OYO is how they
Yeah.
used to spell it. That was like New York City for the Native Americans, right in Pittsburgh, Ohio area.
Oh, yeah.
That was like, a big deal back then. So
Well, up here in Maine, we have
pretty cool.
towns.
Pretty cool
that
history.
It is. Up here in Maine, we got towns that still have the plaques on it from the French and Indian Wars.
Yeah.
The first pub in the U.S. the first public house was erected in like the 1500s in Castine, Maine.
Huh.
And the funny thing is Castine right now, it's beautiful. It's right on the coast. That's the home to Maine Maritime Academy. And I like to go there a lot. Of course, I like to sea glass as well. I can find artifacts. I can find a lot about an area just looking at artifacts.
Oh yeah.
And I came across that, it was a sign that was on, it looked like an English Tudor, but it really wasn't. It was that old. and somebody put it up for sale a couple years ago. And when I went this summer, the for sale sign was down. So was the marker for the building, which is a historical marker. I don't know how they took that down without the town, raising a ruckus. But there was a lot of construction going on. So I don't know if they're preserving it, if they weaseled around it. I don't see that the town would allow that, but yeah, there's a lot of historical places all up and down the eastern seaboard, especially in Pennsylvania. So that's why I'm glad that we talked, because I learned a lot about Pennsylvania through your eyes. So thank you for that.
Yeah, it's short for Penn's Woods. That's what it translates to. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I got William Penn Mountain right up the road. I got all these William Penn facts for everybody because I hike it. There's a million. You go to like a little cabin you used to live in if you want.
Well, here in my area.
Who's your guy?
The big thing that was here, for me, historical, is the Underground Railroad.
Yeah. There's evidence of that in this area too. We're right on the Mason-Dixon line too, where I'm at. The Mason-Dixon line goes right across Maryland into PA.
Look at that.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy because you can hike it as a Mason-Dixon trail. And,
I remember crossing that Mason-Dixon line a few times.
It's funny because
cross country and down south.
If you know anything about Maryland, it's a fun state. They think they're from the South still, like they're still, but they're northern. It's pretty hilarious. It's pretty cool.
What's really cool is the regional accent.
Yeah.
Especially in Baltimore.
Baltimore, yeah. We're not gonna go. If we're going to be a foraging community, we cannot talk about Baltimore City. I'm just kidding. I have friends out there.
We're going to start getting hate on that. I have friends that are down in that area.
Yeah, they know.
And I posted. It didn't transfer over to the Foragers page because I posted it from my personal page. You know how you get those memories that come up on Facebook that says, hey, this is what you did. Okay, so for a couple years in a row, there's this crew of friends of mine that I've become friends with. And they would, there'd be like 8 of them. And they'd all gather and they'd go for a week vacation someplace. And they came up, where were they that year? I think it was New Hampshire, We're all sitting around a fire, and he was telling a story, and his accent was just cracking me up. And you could see me in the frame, like losing my shit. Literally laughing so hard just because of the accent. So,
that's funny.
Yeah, regional accents are pretty cool.
Yeah,
and Maine accents are no different.
I do.
Yeah.
Sure.
You got accents? You don't have an accent. You sound like
I'm a big time northerner, dude. If I go down to just past Virginia into like Carolina, South Carolina, you get a southern accent right away, southern drawl. I like it. But yeah, I lived down the Panhandle too for like, I don't know, 8 or 9 months, and there's a lot of Texans there. I like the Texan accent. That was cool. I was like, man. But I stuck out like a sore thumb. Plus, I wasn't tan. I'm very pale. Cause everybody down there had a great tan, except for me.
They did.
Yeah. Except for me.
You need some beach time.
I was down there for 8 months, and I got a tiny shade. That was the darkest I ever been. I had a little shade, but just my little shade still wasn't, not even close.
Yeah.
So we got 12 more minutes until our live, I guess. 12, 13 minutes.
Yeah, we got 12 more minutes till live where we can talk all kinds of stuff.
So we got...
What do you want to talk about?
Topics, right? Got the article up. So do you want to do... I like this ghost pipe article. I know we're hammering it, but there's just, a couple key things we want to know what they're looking for, right?
Yeah. I want everybody to know what they're looking for.
So I got iNaturalist app up because that's kind of like the tool for everything. So that's there.
Yeah, a lot of people
They don't know
These
about it,
plant
right?
apps. Everybody, I see a lot of postings from a lot of people, plant apps. Oh, well, my plant app said this, and they'll take a screenshot and they'll post it in the forum, and it's like,
Yeah.
plant apps are user populated.
Yeah.
So if someone gets it wrong, so will you. Now, a Plan ID app, why should you have to dish out money? It's not practical, okay? Most of those plan apps, they're not reliable. AI or user information that is incorrect. Use something that is web-based, that you don't have to pay for, that's free.
Yeah.
It gives you all the chemical analysis, everything everybody knows about it, all these different tabs.
I'm seeing
it shows every single state, every county.
this
with
shows the entire
GPS
world
location.
now. This has data
Yeah,
all
it's
over
global.
the country, all over the globe. But
Yeah,
there's a
it's global.
ton of insects and animals on iNaturalist. You notice that? I never really knew so. I just use it for plants. I haven't used it for
I'm
bugs.
telling you, it
I'm
is
just
it's the
surfing
most
around it.
resourceful tool
Fox
that
moth,
anybody.
northern
Yeah,
yellow
anybody
sac spider, a sandpiper. There's a couple birds. So if you're a birder, this would be good. Maybe potentially grasshopper, short-winged. Wow, cool.
Yeah, all kinds of
So
stuff.
now I have more
but-
stuff to junk to look at and look through.
Dude, the banger about it is
I'm on
if
this
you're new
app
to
enough
foraging,
already. Goldenrod.
yeah, everything is there. So if you're new to foraging,
comes
want
my
to learn
cat
about
Luke.
a plant, or a mushroom, or an insect, or a grasshopper, or whatever, you go to inaturalist.org, choose your state. You can even, look at a county, and they will give you. There's like these galleries. So if I want to see what mushrooms are available in the state of Pennsylvania, I go on it, and it actually shows user and verified, by the way. You can't go on iNat unless you've done DNA, unless you're backed. In other words, there's a consensus.
What's to ID?
And, you send it in, to ID, because that's how they stop the incorrect IDs. You have to send it in.
Yeah, I saw a couple that were just said unknown because I'm looking at new ones. So I guess they're just waiting on people. So that's nice.
Yeah, they might be waiting on people, but so if you want an ID, go there. It'll show pictures of every mushroom that anyone has found in your state. It'll be there. It'll give the descriptions, the sizes, the lookalikes, the taxonomy, all kinds of stuff. And there's all those tabs. So, I push it a lot in our forum because I know that there are a lot of people that don't understand all of this. Trust me, we were all new.
Yeah.
We didn't come out of the womb knowing all of this.
No.
It took years and years and years and calluses and hiking and tick bites and studying and schooling and everything else to get where we're at, right?
Yeah.
I have an issue with short arm syndrome. I'm a Mainer. I don't do lazy, and I don't like lazy people. The best, so what, and that doesn't mean that someone's lazy if they don't check iNat. What's important to understand is that in order to make a choice, you have to be educated that there are choices and things to do. So with a non-FDA regulated herbal supplement, any herbal supplement that you can buy over the counter, okay, read your labels and do your due diligence. Do your research. You can't go into a forum and say, take a picture of a mushroom. Can I eat this? Oh my goodness. Any good reputable myco forum, everybody's going to be like, they're going to give you the stock photo that shows how you're supposed to submit your pictures in order to ID them. And you see that happening over and over and over again.
Yeah.
That's because there are a lot of bots in the forums. So when someone says, hey, can I eat this? It may not be, Janice's 80-year-old, uncle that can't forage because he's physically disabled. It's actually, somebody in Myanmar or in Ghana that is trying to scam a U.S. consumer by trying to mimic what it is and act like they've got a college course by getting a couple answers so that they copy and paste your answers and they put it in other forms. That's what I mean by short arm syndrome and being lazy. But it's perfectly okay to ask. But iNaturalist.org is such a great resource because when you get into holistic and natural healing and stuff like that, it's incumbent upon the user to educate themselves. Because sometimes we've even got to educate the doctors, right?
try to put some things out there for them, but a lot of these companies are tied to what they can sell and talk about. So.
Well, there's also a lot of pharmaceutical bots on Facebook and other social media forums. So you think
it was
that you're
bigger than
arguing with a person.
It was a bigger problem than I thought before I started talking about remedies and foraging, and it leads you down to medicinal use of certain plants, right? And you're right, there are a lot of scammers and cheap shortcuts, and it's out there for sure, especially on Facebook. I think that's why we're dealing with Facebook mostly. I think the more you build communities elsewhere, maybe there's less of that, but Facebook's kind of a big community for herbal stuff right now. I mean, that and Reddit. I mean, I'm not really on Reddit that often, but it's another good forum to potentially dive into. I got enough forums. So we're doing Spotify, we're doing YouTube, we're doing Facebook. We got 3 right now that we're rolling kind of all into one. Facebook, our main group has 1,700 people. So
and growing.
That is great.
I'm very proud of that, and I want to thank all our listeners and all our members, for coming over to the dark side. Learning the practical way how to do things. There is science-based facts that have to do with tincturing, making herbal remedies. It's all chemistry. You got to know a lot about it. And there's a lot of misinformation out there. There's arguments whether you use dried material versus live material. Okay, there's arguments whether you use 80 to 100 proof or you use 190 proof. And people typically will say, "Oh, you're going to burn it." I have never seen any herb go up in flames or be burned chemically by using high-proof alcohol. High-proof alcohol is the definition of tincturing. And a lot of clinical herbalists, licensed practitioners that are out there, they cannot tell you these things because they have a license to protect. That's why every book you read, every snippet of somebody that has a degree or a license, they got that golden noose around their neck that I've talked about so much. They will just say, it's usually done in high-proof alcohols, but it's okay to use 100 proof. No, it's not.
I don't want to be. Yeah, they go, and they say that because they don't want to be confrontational.
And then people hang on to the 100 proof because they want to sell books. That's why. And you've got a lot of books that are being peddled out there. There's just so many that are out there. We got to do a book addy. This is crazy.
I'm working on a book. I got the idea is actually in a document, and it actually is sorted out. So
good.
It's just it hurts my brain because it hurts my brain sometimes working on that thing.
Yeah.
Because it's like, let's work on the Ghost Pipe book, and then I'm out for at the time. I'm out. This year I've been putting in some serious man time, and I'm ghost piped out for foraging, writing about it. I'm enjoying our group. So for the past 2 weeks, I've been focused on my full-time job, which has been nice. So and then I got a beach trip this weekend. So this is kind of like Addie is in between, it's foraging break right now. I went real hard, dude. It's been blooming since June 1st. I've been going hard every day, every day.
You know, here's the thing that a
Two
lot
months
of people.
straight. So August, I said I'm taking a break, 2 week break.
Yeah. Listen, a lot of people
I'm
don't
not really
get
gonna last long because
how
I already want to go hiking.
how
But
I know.
I
Listen,
said I'd take a
I
break.
put in probably 10 miles or more a day with
Yeah.
hiking. This
Yeah.
this year, without a doubt. Like I got up at 5 o'clock this morning,
I know.
and I was out the door.
I know.
Okay.
I secured what I needed this year because I just couldn't
Yeah.
deal with it, and luckily I did because, I mean, it's wicked hot out here in Pennsylvania. It just cooled down for the first time in like a long time, and I was out there for short periods of time, but I'm just glad I don't got to go out there in this, through the last week into this week. It was,
I don't mind it. I always have sweat
can't-
dripping off my
don't-
body all the time. I mean, it looks like I have these great yoga pants.
Yeah.
Listen, I can tell you this story.
Oh man.
Okay, last week I was on one of my long hikes, and I was so, I ran out of water, and okay, that's how long the hike was,
Yeah.
and it was 96, I think that day, and the sweat was literally coming off my elbows.
Shit.
Okay, because it was bad. I mean, that's another reason why you wear a hat is so sweat doesn't burn your eyes when it comes down. But there was a gentleman that was sitting down on a bench, and as I went by him, I was like, we started talking. As I'm walking away, I noticed it looked like I completely wet my pants.
Oh my gosh.
Because it was that hot and that sweaty. And I was like, oh my God, that poor guy's probably, and that poor guy's looking at me going, this lady peed her pants and she's sitting here talking to me. No, I didn't pee my pants. It's sweat. It's sweat from all the hiking.
We're going live. Ready?
So, all right.
3, 2, and we're live.
Bada bing.
So I got the article up. That's a crazy story, dude. I've looked super silly hiking. And, I've seen people, I'm like, wonder what kind of situation they got themselves into. You know what I mean? Like, walking a bike, somebody's walking a bike, you're like, why aren't they riding that thing? But yeah, you get a lot of...
you get a lot of these e-bike people, too.
E-bikes, man. They torch me. I can't keep up.
No, you can't. And I'm really thinking about getting one of those fat tire e-bikes. I'm not even kidding.
Yeah, I know. Well, they're affordable nowadays, too.
It would make my life so much easier.
You know what people are doing with those? They're buying them like they're treadmills, and then they use them once or twice, and then you buy them on Facebook Marketplace for half the price. They're just trying to get rid of it.
Dude, I'm trying.
But
I'm gonna start. I'm gonna start to look.
Yeah, there's people that
have. Me, I like a good deal. I don't like to pay full price.
Well, there's a lot of
e-bikes.
I know they're that are all decorated up. They all have themes, so I can see you doing that. Wagons and
Dude,
stuff.
I remember being down in Atlanta visiting family one Thanksgiving when Chance was right around 4 years old, 3-4 years old.
Yeah.
And I come from, my uncles are all bikers, so I went to a bike shop with them, and I met this guy who had this innovative idea: electric powered bikes.
Yeah.
And that was 30 years ago. Now look at what they've become.
Yeah, there's dirt bikes now that are super fast. They're all electric. They're crazy.
Harley does it. Harley makes them.
A bunch of companies
Harley
make them
has
now.
an electric street bike, and it's like ring. It sounds like something you'd hear in a Star Wars movie. Just a buzz.
Yeah, bikes are realistic though. A car,
like an X-wing.
An electric car is tough. I wouldn't want to charge it.
Here in Maine, charging stations are problematic. You have to get one of the hybrids. But yeah, I'm red, white, and blue, 100% American. I want steel and I want gas. That's just it. And that's why I drive an H2. So steel, gas.
Not me. I drive the opposite. I'm the one with the hybrid and the cheap gas.
You're the good guy. But I think in culmination, before I put that part of the conversation to bed, listen, you and I, as well as many other people, other good people out there that are making good, quality, consistent meds, okay, for other people, we do it for others.
Yep.
And that needs to be recognized. So hats off to you, Addie, for
Thank you.
putting in all the work and doing all of this. Welcome. And then, I'm so I'm very proud of you.
I appreciate it.
And I don't think a lot of people recognize how much work this is sometimes. They
Sometimes.
just think, well, it's a lot of work for me.
Yeah, you put a lot of time into it. I feel like this kind of comes naturally. I enjoy doing it, so it's not the hardest.
It's
You know what the
not
hardest thing
work
is?
when it's your calling. When it's your calling, it's never work, is it?
No, this is what I wish I could do all day. I wish I could just sit on Facebook Live and talk to people and say, "Hey, try cutting your flowers up instead of, oh, hey, try looking this website up and using this. Go to our, it's easy to do. People are grateful, so it feels good to help people.
Yeah, they really are. Plus, it's really good to help them learn, and so that we all elevate together. And we have some OGs. We have some OGs in our group.
Yeah, we have some cool people.
We've got a couple hundred people that came with us when we started this, and I wrote a very impassioned and heartfelt note to every single one of you to thank you for growing with us and sticking with us, and it's very appreciated.
Yeah,
without a doubt.
We anticipated to grow, and I was pretty confident it would happen, but I'm surprised that it's grown to this much. So our family and friends are in the group. Shout out to all of them too, like you just said. They're probably like, wow. This, we don't know what the hell he's been talking about, but people are listening, or people, just different avenues. So what we're really into are just the art of natural healing, right? That doesn't have to be through a plan at all. A lot of it's just people are dealing with a lot of stress in the world, and they need something to help
get over the hump
naturally.
That's all.
That's it.
And you don't have to go to Western Pharma and go on antidepressants to do it. You just need a little bit of help. And I can't tell you how much walking and getting out and moving is vital to your mental health. It really is.
Big time.
Yeah, you don't have to know what you're doing. You need to go out, take pictures. Like today, I found a huge hardwood tree that was probably, 4 or 5 feet in circumference that had broken in half. And I know why it broke in half, because it was all mycelium. Now, when mycelium, especially white rot fungus, white rot fungus produces some great mushrooms, okay?
Yeah.
And it totally will cork out a tree. There are a lot of famous carpenters looking for those trees.
Interesting.
Because they cut them, and they turn them into tables and chairs and all kinds of stuff. It's big money. Almost like the burls on hardwood, how they cut those out. I
hear that, but I drive by like huge burls all the time. I'm like, if they're worth so much money, like, why are these things just all over the place?
Because you don't have anybody that's a tree surgeon that's out there cutting them down.
Well,
some people are.
There's a popular tree in Elk Neck State Park. You got to really dig in there to find it, but it's called the ass tree or the butt tree, and it has a burl. I mean, it's perfect butt cheeks. So there's a picture I have somewhere. When it pops up, I'll send it to you. But that burl would be a hilarious. I was like, dude, that would be a great table or something like that. Whatever it is they do with it.
Okay.
So
here's where I tell.
Sorry if we're off topic, but that's what you think about when you're hiking and foraging and you're not finding anything. You're like, wow, look at that tree. So yeah, I posted it years ago. Got a lot of attention, but it pops up every year right around this time, so I'm looking for it.
I am literally dying inside right now because I'm just going to out
Oh my
myself
god.
on one of my dirty little picture folders that I have in my, in my cell phone for probably 20 years. Okay. I, you know, I struggle with tree ID a lot. I always
So do
have. It's
I,
almost
dude.
like it's almost like I have tree ID blindness sometimes, but it's more, whatever. I will come across a formation on a tree, okay, and whether it's got a glory hole in it or whether it looks like anatomical parts, it
Yeah.
looks like face, and not the clean anatomical parts either. And I take pictures of them because I think it's hilarious how nature works like that. So when all the other girls are sitting down to have brunch on a
Yeah.
Sunday and people are showing their dick pic folders, the
You're
kind where you're talking to some guy and he thinks he can just send you, he can eye rape you, those kind of things. Okay, I don't like looking. I'm like, everybody's like, okay, let's see the glory hole tree pictures. Let's see, what'd you get this week? That's the topic at brunch. My
trees.
brunches. People
Say, I'm a
want to
bit of an
see.
arborist myself,
Yeah. So there's my sick and twisted
Yeah.
hiking humor as I like
When
taking
you're,
pictures and stuff
yeah,
like that.
dude, when you're hiking a lot, and if you're like
You're
me,
your
you're not
own best
watch,
company.
you're not watching your phone the whole time. I look at my phone
No.
for pictures and stuff, but the uh, the whole experience is kind of ruined if you're just looking at your phone walking around.
No, you
Um,
can't look at their phone.
but
You
yeah,
just absolutely can't.
let's
Yeah.
let's dive into this.
Okay, let's talk about this ghost pipe
Yeah.
ecology, shall we?
So those those of you who just got here, we're gonna break.
Welcome to the Practical Foragers show.
Yeah, welcome to whatever this is. But
Yeah.
yeah, so
Here we are.
ghost pipe is the hot topic right now. It's a flower we've been working with for years. Janice has been working with it 40 plus years. I've been working with it for 5+ years. We'll call it 6 years, so that sounds better.
Yeah, we'll even it out.
Combined 50 years. How about that?
Yeah.
Or maybe. Okay, so there's a great research team in Penn State right now, spearheading the charge of the study of ghost pipes, pain relieving
Their
effects.
biochemical analysis. First time since 1892 that this is being done. Can you imagine the archaic tools that they had to test it in 1892 versus now?
Yeah,
we're
wrote
really
about
get a full spectral analysis.
Yeah, they've written about it for a very long time. This plant's been used by the Native Americans here for a very long time. It's being used in different ways, I think, nowadays. But
in Europe,
it's still being used for the same.
Asia for millennia.
It's still being used for the same thing. It's just used kind of differently, in my opinion. So what's happening is it's not like a normal plant. So it's connected to, like this picture up there. It's connected to the tree roots in a way that it's sharing like thousands of extra compounds and chemicals that a normal flower just wouldn't. So for them to go through, through compound each little chemical one by one. I mean, there are thousands they found. So they're trying to find, like, what do they call it, the smoking gun, that the actual the leading way. We already know there's salicylic acid or the base of that, the natural version of that, acetate or something. But they spoke about that. But right now this is the most interesting sentence in this whole paragraph here. I'll read it for you. So this is what she won her award based off of, if I'm reading this correctly. One research project currently underway is a study of ghost pipes' pain-relieving effects in mice, which she, as in Inez, the student, said has produced promising preliminary results. So the mice, the lab mouse, all right, has been getting good. I really want to know how they're dosing the mouse. How do you think they're dosing them?
Listen, I can't talk about it. I can't. It's like using puppies. I know
We
that
have to talk
they're
about it.
animal tested.
I,
I know we
it's
have
all
to, but
speculation
I
because we
hate to
don't
think what
know.
they're
It's
doing to their
speculation, but we
mice.
don't know. But what do you think they're putting like making ghost pipe tincture, or you think they're letting it eat it, or you think or are they just shooting it, into their bloodstream?
I think that they are using 200 proof ethanol, that they are distilling it. They're
Yeah.
turning it into a tincture, and I know that they're going to try using topicals. I know that
Yeah,
they're going to,
topicals are a big topic too.
yeah, and
I want
because
to talk
they
about
have
that.
those naked mice.
Ghost pipe
So
cream.
yeah. Well, we got ghost pipe roll-ons going on, so we're going to be. I've got a
Down the road.
project going.
I like
where-
spray
Yeah.
toppers. I mentioned that to a commenter earlier in the informative group. She was talking about, can you apply it topically? I said, yeah, actually you can. You just know you got to add a lot more topically than you would taking it as a tincture form. So,
Okay, so here's my
that's all I gotta
thoughts
say.
on topical things, and I hope this doesn't get me slaughtered.
I
care.
I don't want to get too sidetracked from the thing, but go ahead, yeah.
I don't know.
Sidetrack
people
us.
People wanting to use topicals. Those also may be the same people that use essential oil.
Well, what about people who don't want alcohol? That's another thing too. Maybe they're.
Well, if you don't want alcohol, then use a glyceride or
I don't know.
alcohol.
Is applying alcohol?
It's not going to be as medicinal, but go for it.
Is applying alcohol to your skin and then the alcohol getting in your bloodstream that way the same thing as just putting 3 drops in your drink?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I
think it's tomato. I don't. It takes a lot longer. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, if you're an alcoholic and a couple drops of tincture is going to trigger you, that is your trigger. Okay, that's something, that's a personal choice. They don't want to do it.
Yeah, that is individual to you.
Yeah, but know this: you don't get shit-faced off of taking 3 drops. Can it trigger someone who is a hardcore alcoholic? Absolutely. They have the tools in place in order to manage those triggers. That's not up to the tincture industry, herbal industry as a whole to do that.
Yeah, it's the same thing with like people who use mouthwash. Like, you know what I mean? Mouthwash is another thing that you don't use if you're in that situation.
Perfumes have alcohol in it.
I drank a kombucha thing that had like 0.3 or 4. I forget, but yeah, it's food.
Because it's fermented.
So what you're supposed to use. This kind of bleed us into our next thing. So,
all right.
So you think they're breaking the plant down with high proof salt, 190 lab stuff,
I think
right?
that they're absolutely.
And then maybe they're just a little mouse probably needs a tiny drop. I mean,
not even a drop.
So
Micrograms.
They didn't get too in. I was looking for the deep dive into this actual experiment. I couldn't find it, so maybe I'll email it.
No, that's going to be part of the biochemical analysis.
So I don't know when that's coming out, but she does have contact information. So, I mean, if I want to write a big email and say thank you, and maybe I'll send her one and say how's everything going? Is there an update? Like, could you?
No, don't do that.
I want to know so bad, but there's no way I'm doing that. She'd be like, "Get out of here, block." But she's just a hero. She's a hero of ours, mine personally. But so she won an award, awarded for a prestigious F31 pre-doctoral fellowship through the National Institutes of Health, and that will fund her investigation of ghost pipe as a potential pain reliever through 2027. So everybody reading that?
I hope so.
So she's gonna be through by 2027, right? Through 2027, so 2028 maybe would be the cutoff, right? So through 2027, we should know something by then.
I'm hoping.
Is she gonna list stuff? You think they're gonna roll stuff out slowly and like here's the first?
No.
Or just drop it all. Here you go, everybody. Bam.
No, Penn State has broken the seal.
Yeah, they did 4 years ago, and this is the result.
They will follow through. So I'm not worried about it. I just wish it was a lot sooner than 2027 because they've got to do.
Yeah,
Listen,
and what if
Asia,
Big Pharma gets a
well,
hold of it and they stop them? They put another
they
2
can't.
years.
They can't.
So let's talk
That's
about
the
that.
thing.
Why?
Listen, that's
Why
the
are so many
thing
people
about.
negative about this? There's an experiment that it's no longer an experiment. They're doing an actual research study, right?
Yeah.
So bam, it's being
So
funded.
no more
Yeah.
pick shaming, no more hiding in the closet of mysticism, wrapped in this cloak of magic and magic power. This is a perennial plant. It's magic, elements of medicinals do not go poof in the air the second it's harvested.
Yeah, we got to talk about that.
Do not tincture in the field. That is what's called a dirty catch. And if nobody knows what a dirty catch is, that's because your eyes can't see all the microbes in that soil. Your eyes, you can't smell it. Ghost pipe doesn't even smell, okay? So take it home. It's a plant. Don't believe these people that tell you it has to be immediately put in. And don't even get me
here's what I
100 proof.
Yeah.
That's not. It's just not.
Here's
true.
my spiel about.
It's just not true.
Here's my spiel. You ready for my spiel?
I'm ready for it. Let's hear
a lot of people, they won't have. A lot of people might not even have a vessel on them, right? So,
Yep.
or alcohol, right? So they leave them, then they go out, and then they buy all that stuff, and then they go back out, and then they do it in the field too. Most of the time, that's what happens. So
that's crazy.
So.
It's nuts.
You can
You
definitely
don't do
bring.
that for any other thing.
So,
any other plant. Why would you do it for this?
So
one?
here's what I'm saying. So, the whole immediately tincturing in the field immediately needs to be rephrased as soon as possible, soon as you can get them clean. So if you want to tincture in the field and bring sterile cleaning, water, rinse them and dry them in the field and take your time and do all that and cut them up and carry the solvent with you and make your solvent. That's how you can tincture in the field. But maybe you have a little base camp nearby, but there's no issue with this. If you harvest the correct flower, it will be very hardy and sturdy and full of nutrients. All right. If you harvest the wrong ones, the tiny ones, the small ones, the ones that you shouldn't be, they're gonna go bad by the time 3 or 4 hours goes by. But yeah.
No, they don't even go bad 3-4 hours.
Not even.
But back it up.
I'm talking about.
You can leave an actual ghost pipe that you pick. We both have done it. Leave it on
for personal use.
Tell me if it turns black. It doesn't.
No.
It doesn't. And it's a flower. So what happens with me,
if you keep them, so what I'm saying, soon after harvesting, as soon as possible, tincture them. But I wouldn't wait past 4 or 5 hours. I like tincturing them within an hour or two. That's what I'd like to do, or less. But I'm not saying you have to. But that's just what I do. But there's no sense in
remember,
bringing alcohol with you out in the field.
Yeah,
it's too hard on you.
Like a fresh cut rose on a hot summer day.
Yeah.
Or a freshly cut hydrangea is even better comparison to me, because we all know, there's many of us that have bought hydrangea flowers from a florist or even the grocery stores. By the time you get it home, it's already wilted. But it wasn't wilted in the store. Well, no, the store's climate controlled and everything else. The things that you do to perk up a hydrangea is you douse it in cold water. Even the flower heads. You go ahead, douse it. You recut the ends and you douse it right in cold water. And guess what? Those hydrangea leaves perk up. The flower head, the mock will pick back up. Okay, same thing with ghost pipe. Ghost pipe is a perennial plant.
Yeah.
It is a flower. Okay? So when I have gone out on, unlike you, sometimes I'm 4 or 5 hours from the time that I picked it, maybe 8. until the time I can get home.
Dude, I'm
Okay.
spoiled then.
So,
I'm ghost pipe spoiled, dude. I've admitted that before. Like this, you know, that's all I'll say. But like people in this
well,
area, they
we're
even did this
yeah,
study around
it's
the whole world in this study, and there was like what 400 people at a PA or whatever.
yeah, it was less than 500 people. But
We're
had
all
I
from
known about the
Pennsylvania,
study
so they're
being
all
done,
using it out here, man.
yeah, they
They're all
really are.
using it.
But had I
PA.
known about it, I would have
PA.
participated in it.
Man, that's funny.
But
You
I
know, there's
didn't.
going to be a mushroom festival in Kennett Square, the capital mushroom capital of the world this year. I bet you Ghost Pipe's going to make an appearance somewhere.
Well,
I'll wear
listen, if
my
it
shirt.
does, you're
I'll
going to
go
have a
for a
lot of
walk.
you're going to have a lot of mycologists that'll be pissed off.
I'll fill.
It only happens because they'll be like, it's not a mushroom, you know?
I'll wear a
Okay,
shirt
it's
that
not a
says,
mushroom.
yeah, that says like, well, I don't know, something funny on it. Don't
And,
Ghost Pipe Karen me or something.
well, see, that's the thing. Ghost pipe. You
I know
have,
friends have tried to
you
sell
have
it at
bots.
stands, and people just don't like it. It encroaches on their stuff. That's what it is, you know, and they don't
It,
want it to work.
no, listen.
I think that's a lot of people that are, you know, there's a lot of reasons why people don't. The conservatives, you know, the naturalists don't like you picking it. I don't know. Farmer
Yeah,
doesn't like you.
they,
You get
I've
attacked from a
said
few
this.
sides when you're dealing with the natural stuff.
Yeah, I've said this a few times
But it is pretty
that,
funny. People get real worked up over it.
well, they get worked up over it, and, just like in mycology forums, they have a saying, mycophobia.
Yeah.
Don't touch it, you're going to poison yourself. That's mycophobia. It has no place
Well,
in mycology.
well, you know what's
None.
funny in these
Okay?
groups? They
Same thing with plants. Same
it'll
thing with plants.
well, it'll be like, you know, psilocybe SP, psilocybe this, psilocybe that, and nobody is like, be careful of the wordings of anything, right? Somebody's like,
No, they don't say
and then
that.
somebody goes ghost pipe flower here, and then there's like a big argument with people who are, you know,
Yeah, there's a big
extreme.
argument saying
Hey,
if you can die. No one has ever died from ghost pipe
so
people. It's not toxic.
if you're a
It
responsible
is.
person, do you just go out in the woods and just eat something you just read about on the internet, or or do you fucking talk to your doctor, talk to a professional? What do you know what I mean?
Well, even in the myco forums, if someone says, "Hey, what is this? Can I eat this?" people pounce on them because
Yeah.
you never ingest anything unless you know what it is. Now,
Yeah.
with mushrooms, we have what's called the spit test.
You're brave for
You,
doing that, by the way. I'm
you
still.
can do it with even a destroying angel. You
Yeah,
can
I've seen
take
people
a
do the
bite of
spit
it.
test. I'm not doing that.
Yep. You take a bite of it, roll it around in your mouth, spit it out. That's the only way you can tell if it's bitter or if it's sweet or whatever.
Spit
You
test.
just don't ingest the mushroom pieces. That's
What happens
what
if you
don't
accidentally
want to
swallow
do.
on accident? Do you purge yourself?
You better purge yourself
Yeah, that's
really
too risky.
quick.
Why would I want to? No way, I'm not doing that.
Well, first of all, I don't accidentally swallow anything.
Well, I'm
Without
saying,
intent.
what if you?
You know,
I don't freaking know, dude.
No, but I know
I'm
that
like, well, what?
I saw a comment yesterday in one of the myco forums where someone said, "Yeah, I tasted it and it tasted okay."
Yeah.
And people were like, "What? Are you nuts?" Wait. There's a lot of infighting between myco and botany. Okay, so a lot of people will come across ghost pipe when they're out there hunting for mushrooms, which is why they post in the myco forums.
Yeah, and like.
But then they get a lot of hate. And to me, as a healer, I look at this and all I see is a bunch of ill-behaved children fighting for pole position instead of learning from each other, and learning that we can all grow together.
Yeah,
So, yeah,
it's a lot of.
ghost pipe at a myco fest, probably not a good thing. Because you're going to get a lot of hatred there.
Oh my gosh,
makes me want to wear my T-shirt and walk around and go. Just
I know, like they'll be like, shame her. They'd be like, that's not a mushroom. You can't wear that shirt here. Like, you think someone would be like that? Like, you can't wear that shirt? Like, I don't think so, dude. They'd probably be like, yo, where'd you get that ghost pipe shirt? Oh my gosh.
Sounds like Western Pharma, doesn't it?
I'd be like, I'd be like $50. No, I don't know.
Yeah, it
Out
sounds
there,
like Western
be in the
Pharma.
corner of
That's
be in the
all
corner
I
of the
think.
mushroom vendors and selling ghost pipe stuff. Yeah, they'd love you.
Well, you know,
They don't care. People sell
ghost pipe
anything
is.
there. They sell. I bought a bird feeder made from a gourd at the last mushroom festival. So that's
Oh, no kidding. Cool. Well,
it's
they'll
huge, dude.
probably have ghost pipe.
I
They'll
bet.
probably
I'm
have some
telling you,
ghost
you're
pipe
gonna see
nation.
it. I want to see some there. I want to see some representing. So
Yeah. I've been asked to attend a couple of the Michael Fests this year, and I had to turn everybody down. I was like, no, I can't do
they're
it
packed. I mean,
because.
the one in Kennett Square. When I lived in town, I had to like take off of work because they shut the whole town down. I couldn't even drive my car out. So it was like, all right, I'm locked in. you know.
Yeah,
And
that's kind of how it
like
goes.
close to 3 million people come through that town in 2 days. They had a mushroom eating contest there, and they had all sorts of
What kind of mushrooms did they eat?
fried mushrooms, dude. It was disgusting. There was like
Hopefully
three
not
hundred people
portobellos.
watching. It was fried
Yeah.
mushrooms, probably fried oysters, or portobellos, probably because we live in Kennett Square. Portobellos are big there. But long story short, the winner ate 12 pounds of fried mushrooms. And my friend's apartment is behind the tent, right? And that's
hmm
where we walked after. They were all getting sick back there. It was terrible. That was the worst thing
Oh
ever.
yeah.
I was like, oh no, that's the secret. Like we watch all these food competitions, like they don't get sick afterwards. Well,
Oh
they
yeah.
do.
Coney
They
Island hot
do,
dog.
everyone. And they don't tell you about that part.
No,
They should
they
fill.
don't. But
So, anyways, foraging, hot dogs. All right, here we go.
okay,
So yeah, people are easing up on Ghost Pipe though. That's what we're getting at. So they're easing up on it. There's a few negative Nancy's, but that's anything anymore. So how can you just say there's a couple people pissed off or whatever? That's anything you do anymore. Someone's gonna be
I
set at you.
anybody
Anything.
who
But
tries
yeah,
to claim ownership, tries to say that they're the end all and the know it all, and then turn narcissistic and blame someone else who actually does know more just because they feel insecure. You know,
yeah,
that kind of infighting happens, and that's normal.
yeah.
Okay, but always rise above it. Try to come at it. Because you don't know what somebody's going through on the other end of their
No,
keyboard.
I always
They may live in a trailer out in the woods someplace, and that's their only form of socialization and venting. So a lot of times they do that. So
Yeah, I've had a
so
lot
in
of
other
people I
words,
talk to. I'm like, are they mad? I'm like, nah, just whatever. Hit them with a nice comment, and then they'll be like, "Duh, you idiot!" Blah 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 blah. I'm like, oh my god, I should never been nice to you.
yeah,
Delete.
no, listen,
You're out of
you
here.
you never listen. You never have to worry about
I
that in our
Yeah,
forums,
dude. If
guys.
somebody's
Okay,
clacking at you, disrespecting you, dude, just give us a shout like immediately, and
yeah.
it's done.
If Addie and I aren't online already
Yeah,
and already on it, we got it. And know
yeah.
this, it's a public forum. Okay, so that means that they don't have to ask to come in.
No, we get
Okay,
visitors. We get a lot of
we
visitors.
get visitors, we get all that kind of stuff. But pretty soon, we're going to be putting that on lockdown, and people are going to have to ask. Now, know this: when we get people coming in and people start to make comments, I'm in a lot of forums. I'm moderator, I'm group expert, I'm co-admin, I'm admin of a bunch of different groups.
Yeah,
Okay.
she's full time adminning around these Facebook groups now. Watch out.
Yeah, I'm trying. Yeah.
Sheriff's
So
out.
I never forget a name.
You're
Never. And
So if you're looking to go to
I
Facebook,
well
whatever ban, I don't
before.
know.
Yeah,
I just think
that's
it's
right.
funny
No,
that
listen.
I just think it's funny that
I
people argue so hard about herbal remedies. It's like, dude, there's some things are pretty cut and dry, but there's no need to get
Honey, it may just
disrespectful.
be a bot. It may just be a
Yeah,
bot.
yeah, that
Arguing
too.
with.
You could be arguing with a robot
You know.
nowadays. Who knows?
And you know how you figure that out? If
Uh,
somebody puts or facts on any of the pages that I'm in, okay, any of the groups, and they give instructions on how to do something or they do this, do I comment right away? Mm-mm. I click on their profile, okay? You would be surprised.
Do a little
And
admin work.
oh yes, I do a little investigation. Why? Because it's due diligence. Because I want to know who I'm talking to. Am I talking to an actual clinical
Yeah.
herbalist, or am I talking to an at-home cottage person that got a certificate because
Yeah,
they paid
the bigger your
unbelievable godly amounts of money for an online
the bigger your
program,
group
and the
gets
certificate
too.
means nothing.
The bigger your
The
group
certificate
gets, the
means
more
nothing.
people want to post stuff like that in there because they see you have like, you know, what, maybe 2,000 people or something, and they're like, all right, perfect, let's post it in here.
They want to change the combo. So my advice to anyone when you're in these groups and there seems to be a conflict, just click on them. You can tell by looking at their friends list if their profile is locked, by their pictures, how many friends they have. Is this a real person? Oh no, they've only got 2 friends. And they have a picture of a Caucasian man, but they're clearly in Ghana because their friend list, their followers are all from Ghana. And I look at that and I go, and this is the great thing about Ghost Pipe, and this is why I think everyone bags on it so much, is because it doesn't grow in Africa.
Yeah, it grows in Europe.
They can't copy it. It doesn't grow.
Different species.
Right. It doesn't grow in Africa at all.
No, I know, not Africa.
Right. So you get a lot of these African scammers that come in, and remember how I told you they want to copy it, they want to say that they sell it, that they make it, and all that kind of stuff. But the fact of the matter
there's definitely
if you want a good pain reliever, if you want a good pain reliever, and you know it was made here in the USA, go to Etsy. I've got a shop there, New England Planner. Adam's got a shop there. Okay. We are homegrown here in the USA, no scams, no malarkey. You get true quality, consistent tinctures. You don't have to worry about scammers. No wonder they're arguing. No wonder they do all this. And then they say
anything.
There's like 1,000 of them.
And a lot of these guys, a lot of these like pop up, with the Katy Perrys, right? We were saying the Katy Perrys, like they think they're, she thinks she's an astronaut, right? These guys think they're herbalists because they, handle a few plants. And an herbalist is something that it's a title yourself. So like, anybody
can be an herbalist.
Anybody can be an herbalist, like that specializes in ghost pipe.
Anybody.
It's just like
anybody can be a naturopath.
And
anybody.
And making nice photographs on your cell phone and uploading them on a website is easy for people to do. So now you got.
It is.
So when you're reading these descriptions, and they just AI's right. It just sweetens, it sweetens your ear, and you think this person's an expert. So when you message them, hey, does this help with my backache? Yes. Hey, does this help with my toothache? They're like, they just tell you whatever you want to know. Is this made with 100 proof? Yes. Is this made with 190? Yeah. Yes. So it's like,
don't think for one. This is, I always try to put myself in the shoes.
You want to ask about experience too, like experience levels. Like with ghost pipe, you need some experience. You don't want to be.
You need a ton of experience.
You want to make it yourself. That's great, but when you begin talking about it and being, knowing the linguals and the different way you have to explain things without giving medical advice, it gets tricky. So like we talked about this in our first ever podcast. I'd like to talk about it again. Selling ghost pipe, being a ghost pipe vendor, right? For people, it's not like it's not selling
if you're finding ghost
honey
pipe,
or something like that, right? People, the wrong person can buy your product and try it, and that's kind of not okay in my opinion. It's definitely not okay.
Not.
These other people don't care about that. They'll give, whatever they want to whoever they want. So that's not good.
Listen, I watch that Etsy forum, okay? Mm-hmm. And I see
you want smart buyers. You don't want dumb buyers, that's for sure. You don't you want people to be educated about it.
Here's the thing. I always try to put myself in someone's shoes.
Not to go on a big rant.
No. Somebody say that I was just diagnosed with stage 4 carcinoma, okay, and it's not survivable. all right? Not by Western meds, not by anything of the tools that I know that are available to me. I'm not going to survive this, okay? Desperate people are desperate.
Yeah.
And they think that there's a cure, maybe in Africa, that will help me, that we don't have here. No, honey. What we've got here is even better, okay? Because we've got, certified herbalists. We've got, people that have master's and doctorate degrees in botany and all kinds of stuff. The United States is a land of milk and honey for a reason, because there's a lot of great natural plants here.
Yeah.
And mushrooms.
And who we learned from? We learned from a lot of the Native Americans that were already here doing it. So they passed a lot of their messaging is getting lost right now and translated into this.
It really is.
And it's super hard to stay focused and keep that spirit alive with them, because I highly respect our ancestors. Some of them and some of them not, but the Native Americans that lived in this land, they were already into their hundreds. And when the Europeans landed here, and they thought that was like demonic, because no one lives that old, right? But they're just all natural. Yeah. They're living that old because they're one with the land. They literally are what they eat. Like that's
right.
Kind of the way you want to,
Well, only.
And they learn naturally over hundreds of thousands of years, right? Of just trial and error naturally and trying different things. There was no Wikipedia. There's no internet. No Facebook groups like ours to say, hey, chop them up. Use 190. Go to laballey.com and order it. Go
to Lab Alley. I was arguing with somebody today.
Imagine if your healer got...
They were trying to argue with me. Somebody actually, because I said 190 proof, and yes, you can buy it in every state in the U.S.
Dude, I feel like a Lab Alley.
Walmart, any lab supply store. Don't listen. Unless they start paying you, don't bother.
Here's a trick. I'll give you a secret. Walmart will pay for the hazardous shipping. Wink, wink. If anyone's listening and want to order, Lab Alley sometimes charges you like a hazardous shipping fee, and it's expensive. So, Walmart. Hope you're not listening, but you guys ate like $100-something for me, so thanks.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they don't take that off or charge more at the time.
We gotta give it back to the Waltons.
I didn't want to, but they freaking got me, dude. What am I doing? I should have messaged Lab Alley American Company and said, hey, look, you gonna send me free shipping? I like but Walmart's really got.
You get a price match.
But Walmart's got your product 25% off and free shipping. What are you guys? They're in bed with them. I don't know.
Yeah, of course they are. But when you look for it,
but that website's popular. They're doing some business now, man. Holy crap!
Yeah, Lab Alley.
They weren't that big.
Lab Alley really started.
They weren't that big not long ago. Remember?
They were doing a lot of internet.
They were just doing tools and lab tools and shit. Now they got that
Lab Alley.
Now they got the food grade halal 190 organic.
They got kosher,
nice.
Organic, anything
cane
that
sugar.
You want.
So the one with cane sugar, that's the organic cane sugar 190s. That's the one they're advertising for the best for tinctures and whatever. But yeah, you get different things, different sizes. I got a 5-gallon jug of it, so that was pretty extreme at first. I was like, "Oh my god, what did I just do?" But I saved a ton of money rather than buy it gallon by gallon, and it doesn't go bad.
And you are making quality, consistent tinctures with it.
Yeah, you can make some quality stuff with it.
I mean, I know that I always try to put myself in everybody's shoes. I'm just the tool from the big guy upstairs.
Yeah. And
my job here is to help. So when I look at that, and I tell people, the definition of a tincture is high-proof alcohol. High-proof alcohol is 190 or above, okay?
Yeah.
Minimum 190. Can you use 151 if you... Okay, so here's the only time that I will...
151's fine for ghost pipe. I've used it. The first time I ever made it, we used Everclear, and I've used it for hemp tinctures, before too. Before I used online stuff, and I was actually making hemp tinctures for years before I made ghost pipe ones. But anywho,
well, here's the thing.
The 151 works well. So if you're at home and you never made a tincture and you don't want to spend all the money, go get some Everclear.
Go ahead.
It'll work fine
Go ahead and
for
get some Everclear.
It'll work fine for you. There's
You
no
just
there's no hate
adjust
on
the
that.
cure. No, just adjust the curing time.
I think it works fine.
Okay.
I don't know.
Curing times are typically 4 to 6 weeks with most tinctures that you make. Okay, at one, even at 151.
Yeah,
Say,
we'll get into
you're gonna
ghost
leave it.
pipe steeping too. I think that's worth a
Yeah.
conversation.
Well, that's why my ghost pipe is in demand so much
That's why I made
because
extra this year because I'm putting actually
you
most
got to
of it
put some
in
in your
aged.
pantry.
I'm putting some in
Yeah,
the
you got to.
old lock and keying it away. My cat is going
Yeah,
crazy
lock
right
and
now.
key.
Sorry, he's rubbing he's rubbing against this
That's
camera
okay.
holder.
We
If I
can't.
don't
I can't see.
I know. Well, I'm gonna describe it to you. If I don't sit up straight and hold this camera, he's gonna knock it down. So,
Oh my goodness.
buddy, can you
Yeah.
relax?
So 190 proof is the goal, and if you want to find it, okay, do an internet search. It's called food grade ethanol. 190 proof.
Yeah, Lab Alley's
That's
not the only one that has it, but they're just.
No, it's not. But,
I think they're most
even
reputable.
They are, but well, there's a lot of lab companies that are reputable. Lab
Yeah.
Alley isn't the only
They
one.
treated me good.
But,
Hey, Lab Alley, throw me a bone or something.
yeah, right.
10% off. Tactical Foragers. Type the code in.
But listen, a lot of people will say, well, I can't get 190 or I can't afford 190.
Yeah.
Well, then that's a whole different issue. If you can't afford 190 and you want, maybe your option, if you want to use 100 proof, is to use a totally different plant, like wild lettuce. Okay? Wild lettuce, that has, I made some wild lettuce recently. I had, a couple clients inquire
I've never
about
tried
it. And
it.
I was like, what the heck, I'll make some.
Send one down.
I'll send one to you when I send you the
send
turkey
one
kill
down.
and
I'll
Reishi.
try it. I'll
Yeah,
try
yeah.
it, dude, because
I
actually
will
like
tell
ghost
you
pipe
this.
for my pain, but I'll try it because sometimes there is a sharper pain. Maybe that can help with some sharper stuff.
No, absolutely not.
Really? What the
No.
hell? I think ghost pipe works
Wild lettuce is wild lettuce because people call it quote unquote. Hold on.
I gotta control this animal over here. He's really messing up my studio.
I know, he's messing up our podcast. Listen, wild lettuce is dubbed, quote unquote, as opium lettuce.
Yeah, see, I don't like the feeling of.
No, wait a minute. I gotta get one of those buttons, and I'm gonna call it the bullshit button.
The shut up button.
Bullshit. Yeah, no, it's bullshit. There it is. I hit the bullshit button. It's bullshit. Okay, that is a marketing tactic that people said. Oh yeah. So for people that are on opioids, they think they're going to come off of opioids and they're going to use wild lettuce, and it's going to help them, and it's not going to help them. Okay, wild lettuce again has analgesic, but it also makes you feel sedated. Okay. Sedated a little bit. It didn't really make me sedated. What wild lettuce does for me is it expands my REM sleep, where I have some pretty wild dreams. I can.
Really?
Not always.
So you're not really using it for like big pain, like sharp pain?
No way.
Because I use
wild
ghost pipe,
lettuce,
and when I wake up the next day after taking it, I only take it maybe once a week, if that. But dude, like, I don't know what it is, but it's like I hit a reset button.
yeah,
I just feel
because
much
you
more
did.
clear.
You reset your nervous system. Listen, when you are in, don't forget, ghost pipe works on your autonomic nervous system, the same systems that make your heart beat. You can't control that, and you can slow it down a little bit with meditation, like I can, but you can't stop your heart from beating. When your ANS is locked in fight or flight, your parasympathetic and your sympathetic nervous system, when it's locked in fight or flight because you're in chronic pain, you can't get REM sleep. You can't reach REM. When you can't reach REM, it causes a lot of psychological and body health issues. That is known in the medical field.
Yeah,
okay?
I have to get sleep or else I get wicked brain fog. And, if I don't, that it affects me big time.
Yeah,
you
don't get, I'm
always like, I have to go to bed. If I don't sleep, I can't function.
Yeah, you're shitting a day if you can't function. But not only that, you wake up with brain fog.
Yeah,
you wake
dude.
up agitated. You're
Yep.
still in chronic pain. You tossed and turned all night. You didn't get, let alone an hour's worth of uninterrupted sleep. You're lucky. Your body, your brain needs to go into REM. That's how your brain repairs itself at night and repairs you.
Yeah.
Because you work out, your brain works out, your subconscious works out your conscious stuff while you're dreaming. That's how come some people's dreams can be really cool, and why people interpret dreams, especially in the
Well, people use Ghost Pipe for finding, spiritual wellness, I guess. That was one of the second biggest things people use it for. So maybe they can.
Yeah, because it centers you.
It does.
So if you're listen, okay, let's go back to the
it was way up higher
parasympathetic.
it was way up higher on the list than
Right.
than a bunch of other
Because-
stuff I thought was maybe higher. I don't have the list up. I don't want to click anything because I tell you what, this is working good. So I'm just staying on this page.
All right,
But,
stay on that page.
I'm trying to
All
find
right,
the
listen,
paragraph
so
about the.
When you're a chronic pain patient and you are locked in fight or flight, sometimes for decades, okay, you don't know it. You're just grumpy. Your life is shit. There's this and that and the pharma, and then you add pharma to it, and it starts giving you cancers and cascades and stomach issues and heart problems and blood pressure. No, you take Ghost Pipe. It centers you. You go to sleep. You get 6 hours or more of uninterrupted sleep. I don't care if you've got fibromyalgia, RA, any type of musculoskeletal and nervous system, things like that. You will sleep. You will wake up the next day, no brain fog, no hesitation, no swelling,
next
no
morning,
anything.
The next morning is
and
the
you're
biggest
just
surprise.
like ready to go. Why?
And,
because your brain healed. You reached REM.
Yeah.
You gotta reach REM sleep. If people that go with sleep deprivation, they literally go crazy. They see hallucinations, all kinds of stuff. It's a thing, okay? Your brain your subconscious needs to work out your conscious stuff when you're sleeping. That's what REM is for.
Yeah, a lot of the athletes preach that they sleep like 8 to 10 hours a day because that's like the way their body rejuvenates more than any kind of hot tub or massage or whatever. Like, you gotta say they
because
sleep.
Mental wellness is reflected in physical wellness. Now, when we talked about this before, for opioid or alcohol cessation, and if you guys want to come off of opioids or benzos or anything like that, you use Ghost Pipe.
Yeah, that was on the survey as well, and that was its newest, I guess, documented, case.
That they were shocked that it worked. And no, it does work. But you've got to
withdrawal and alcohol withdrawal symptoms,
Right.
So we'll highlight
the
that.
shakes, the urges, all that kind
shakes,
of stuff.
Yeah, it helps with shakes. So let's get into potential. We're actually, how much time we got? I got to get off here at 6. We got 10 minutes. Wow, that flew by. Yeah, anyways.
It always does.
Potential uses that weren't on the survey. So we're not,
And by the way, we are digital ethnobotanists.
Yeah, I don't like that term. I'm not calling
listen, I love the ethnobotanist and I love the digitalness of it. Because
I don't know.
listen, Addie, it's like Star Trek. We have entered into a new frontier.
Oh my God.
We have busted the envelope here. And a lot of people, we've busted the envelope so much that Penn State is even calling people digital ethnobotanists. And the title of the study happens to be how digital social media is propelling this plant.
It is.
So you're welcome. You're welcome, everybody.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Everybody that's
welcome.
not out there just talking about it, but being about it. Like shout out to them. This
shout out to them. And listen, there's a lot of people
it's not getting kicked around anymore.
Well, here's me, the rebel, and as the New England planter, as you know, my family's been doing this since the 1600s when we landed on Cape Ann, and what was to become the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. Thomas Gardner, my great God knows however many times grandfather, became the first governor of that state. We came here to heal. That was our religion, homeopathy.
Yeah.
Okay, we founded Salem, all these other countries, all
Yeah.
these other states and cities, and you know, all of
I
New
read
England,
about the New
even
England
down
planners
south.
a long time ago. When I read your name, I was
Yeah.
like, oh shit. And then deep
Yeah.
history there. So
So
very cool. Family orientated.
yeah. So
Big
know
time.
this, okay? I don't care what anybody says or thinks. I trust my logbooks. I trust my experience as a professional fine organic gardener. I trust that more than I trust somebody with a fancy name and a degree. Okay, I know what I'm doing. So I'm putting it out there, have been putting it out there. As everybody knows, you know, this public offering is something that is so outside the norm of what I've ever done.
Yeah.
Because I've got generations of families that our family has taken care of with tinctures, okay? So they're always going to be there. I've got holistic centers, all that kind of stuff that I supply, and all these fancy places in New York and Boston and even farther, okay? On the West Coast too, all right? They don't, you know, they always have quality and consistency. They're always going to have it. But I will always do what is the right thing, always.
Yeah.
Okay, and I don't know everything about this plant.
No.
I don't have a $30 million endowed facility with all the lab equipment so that I can test ghost type. No, that, you know, it's the digital ethnobotanists that have brought this to the forefront
Yep.
to push these universities to
Yeah.
start studying this. Okay,
Dude, like they
so
haven't been wanting to.
I-
So if you go
Yes.
listen to some of the older podcasts I've been in from years and years and years ago, you hear us talk. You hear like it's crazy to hear us talk from back then because I'm just sitting there like, yeah, I don't know why anybody's paying attention to it, and then we're like, because it's great. That's why. And I figured it out. I was like, oh yeah, well, that's why. So
Yeah.
enough
Listen,
people,
it's
enough
not
penguins
just-
jumped in the water, and there's no killer whale, so everyone can go swimming. You know, it's
Yes, everybody go swim and dive in.
Isn't
The
that
water's
funny?
fine. Listen, don't listen to people telling you it's dangerous. They're liars, okay? Because they don't know. They're just finding it out. They're gleaning
Yeah.
3 seconds
Be
of
responsible,
information.
just like
Whatever.
everything else.
You know,
I mean,
they're gonna find out that they're behind the 8 ball on this one, okay?
yeah.
The
So
thing is it works for pain, both physiological, that means musculoskeletal, neuropathy, it's phenomenal on.
and emotional.
Yeah, it's great. It's an antispasmodic. Guess what? I have restless leg syndrome, okay? And I have diabetes. And I've got all these other things, as I mentioned, but my fibromyalgia is the hardest thing to manage because stress causes flares. So it's important for me to be stress-free, okay? Which is why I do this. I can't work for somebody else. Are you kidding me? So I Ghost Pipe excels.
Yeah.
Excels. Literally excels with ADHD, OCD, you know, anxiety, PTSD,
Yeah.
panic attacks, and it acts almost instantly. Which if anybody has
Strange
anxiety,
how quick it works.
okay?
I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
Even if you
I
just
have
eat
to-
one right out of the ground, that's like I first ever tried it. I just ate one out of the ground. Like almost instantly, I was like, you know.
Almost instantly, because it
Relieved.
gets
I was like, dude,
when you eat it or you ingest it. Like some people they don't want to they don't want to raw dog their tinctures. I call it.
I throw mine in a smoothie and blend it up, but at the time,
Yes.
if you're hiking, you can
First
chew
of all,
on one.
If anybody's getting my turkey tail and reishi, put them in the fridge. Okay, if you get a 4 ounce, that's only a month's supply. And if you're not taking therapeutic doses every single day, okay, it's not going to work. You're not going to have consistency. All right, you're not going to see that it helped you. You may feel a little bit better, and then slack off. Don't do that. Keep taking your tinctures, and don't raw dog them. You don't have to put turkey tail and reishi under your tongue. Those don't need to be immediate acting. Ghost pipe does. Okay, if you're having a panic attack and you feel that little tunnel coming, you know it's coming, your anxiety, everything, couple drops under the tongue, under a minute, done. You can stave off a panic attack and a PTSD attack every single time. You've got to put in the work to find out your unique dosing, though, because everybody's pain threshold is unique, as is their pain, okay? You are not going to get a head buzz on this. It's not going to show up on talk screens. Don't worry if you got a CDL, if you're a cop, if you're a nurse, if you're a doctor, whatever. I can't tell you how many of those people I have on my client roster. A lot. And you don't have to, it's not an illicit medication. You can drive with it. You are completely present. That's what Ghost Bite does. Anxiety, think about what anxiety does. You're thinking all these irrational thoughts. You're not thinking in the present. When Ghost Pipe brings you present, all those thoughts, you're like, what was I thinking? That was some you forget why you were even bothered.
Yeah.
You don't care because you're present. You get your honeydew list done. You actually get stuff done during the day.
Brings you inner peace. I will admit that. It brings it. It's not really. I've been on a few medications, small things for anxiety, and you use it as needed. That's it. It's not something you take every day. You don't need to take it every day. You can.
No,
you can't.
no. Listen.
If you want to take it every day, you can. But if you use it as needed,
you absolutely can.
Right?
If you've got neuropathy, if you have musculoskeletal issues, you've got spine issues, you've got leg pain, you've got shoulder pain, accident, recovering, all that kind of stuff. Absolutely, you can dose every
because I've gotten that
4 to
question
6
a lot.
hours.
I've gotten that question a lot.
Yeah, you
from,
can dose every 4 to 6 hours.
People that are making their tinctures this year for the first time, and they're like, "How do I figure out how strong it is?" So you're the one that's you're gonna have to figure that out.
And it literally takes less than an hour to figure out what your dosage is.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because you're gonna sit there.
Explain it
you're
for
gonna
a second.
Okay, this is what most people do. Okay, this is not me. I'm not a licensed medical professional. I'm not dosing.
Yeah.
I'm not dosing people. I'm giving what most people use with my tinctures, not anybody else's. Okay, I want to make that distinction extremely clear. Our Ghost Pipe tincture, mine specifically, I've got stock where it's been aged. The longer it sits in 190, I don't care. I just let it sit. After it's done through the curing stage, I'm still shaking it. I'm still saying hi to my babies, and I'm still getting it done. But I leave the plant material in there.
Yeah.
Okay, always. Okay. So I tell people with my tincture specifically, and I put flour inclusive of root into every single bottle. Why? Because it is still curing when it's sitting on your shelf when you get it from me at home. I don't care if you got it for the next 6-7 years. Okay? It's still, that flour's still in there.
Dude, the flavor,
one night, it's still going.
A Ghost Pipe tincture in your jar, in your vessel, will age like fine wine.
It really does.
More aroma and aromatic as you cure it.
It does.
It's ready
it does.
To use
and recently,
let that thing sit for a year and try it. 2 years.
Yeah.
I have a 4 or 5 year old one over here that I made with 80, and medicinal value is not there as much. But man, I wish the flavor would taste like that out of all of them, because it tastes like you just chewed up Ghost Pipe. Not even tastes like alcohol.
Yeah.
But
no, it doesn't.
Yeah,
and even after and even when I decant in order to bottle, like recently I released a very limited reserve batch where I had
Janice one. It was
I had macerated Ghost Pipe in with my flour, okay, and it was aged. so it didn't, the coloring may have been a lot lighter, but you hold it up against something and you can see the purple indigos, but you can also see flower particles in there, okay? Know this, that is done with intention, okay? Because ghost pipe is also edible. Are all my limited batches going to be like that? No, those are special reserves that I rip out every now and then, and I'll post it on the site and say, hey, listen,
I'm putting some serious reserves away this year.
I'm putting some serious reserve out there for anybody that wants to try it and see what it does.
About 5 years, you'll get something from this year.
Yeah. So don't think that if you started a ghost pipe tincture, say 5 years ago, and you forgot about it, and it's been sitting on a shelf, and as long as you used 190 proof, okay, it's fine. It's fine. Okay. The color may even start to go from, depending on how many pipes you put in. And that's the other thing. I don't care however many pipes that you got, okay, whether you could only find 3 ghost pipes or whether you found a full-on flush, okay, you only put the solvent to cover your plant material. This is not, and I repeat, not food preservation. Do not think because you use a mason jar that you need to leave a headspace. You don't, okay? I see people putting, paraffin, wax paper, cloth, all kinds of stuff because they worry that the top are going to oxidize. No, they're not. It's alcohol in there. That's food preservation that you got to worry about that. Not so much with ghost pipe.
Yeah.
Put it this way. I use fresh jars for all of my soaks, okay? I have fresh jars delivered all the time. I had a delivery today. My post guy loves me when he's got to carry these things up the
when you're done
stairs.
carrying a good ghost pipe tincture, the jar should be purple. After you're done, it'll stain the jar.
It does. The glass actually stains indigo. It's wild.
All my jars I threw out last year because they were dark too. So
if your jars are oxidizing, that's because you're using old lids. You're not wiping the moisture off. You're not doing any of that. That does go in line, kind of like how food preservation goes. Wipe the jar, wipe the threads, put it on. Use fresh lids. Do not reuse lids. Okay?
Yeah, I got a good bit. You and I have a fun little secret competition going, but we won't reveal what it is. But am I still beating you, or are you beating me?
No, you still got me right now,
well,
but don't worry.
I told you I was taking a foraging break. It's kind of hard for me to get out, but if you say you take the lead, that's going to force me to go back out.
Listen, I'm going up to the Allagash tomorrow. I'm going up to the Allagash because, first of all, northern Maine gets an incredible amount of snow, and it takes a long time for it to melt. Guess what? Their soil level moisture is probably a lot better than what we've got down here right now.
Well,
and yeah, so I'm going to bring my.
Luck, all right.
I'm bringing my meter with me. We're going to test it out because listen, soil temp is important. Soil temp is important. Water content is important. But what's most important is that I do all this not for me, you guys. I want you to understand that because I don't do this for me. My life and my mission is to be of service to others. It's what we do in our family. That is my love language, basically, to put it in a nutshell, is to be of service. So, would I normally do this, if I was working, like a job like you have, Addie? No, I would not be able to do this, okay? Being sort of like, in our family, we lead the charge. It's my privilege, it's my right to help steer the ship every now and then, and I got a lot of fun doing it. I really do. And, that old adage that, they used to say, find your passion and you'll never work a day in your life. and that's kind of how I feel.
Yeah.
You know, this is a passion for me
been
because
fun.
because you know I've been to nursing school. Okay, we've talked about this. I dip in every 10 years to redo my sciences just because one of these days I may actually apply for my degree and finish my nurse practitioner and just be done with it.
Yeah.
But to do that would mean that I can't do what I do now.
And we're just starting, so
And
that's the best part.
yeah, and that is too much of a price for me to pay. So
Yeah.
I'm in a very unique position because I know a lot about pharmacology. I've been there, done that. Plus, being in this kind of family where we've been doing this since well before the 1600s. By the way, it's documented all the way back to the 1100s, to 900 even, because we actually come from the Wallace line that's up in the Highlands of Scotland.
Well,
So
we appreciate you.
I love doing it. And I love having these talks, and I love elevating everybody. So don't be afraid of Ghost Pipe. Don't be afraid to reach out. We love the forums that we're in. We really appreciate all you guys. And hopefully we make your life just a little bit easier. And that's my goal, because good ripples are important. And that's what feeds me. I could lose everything tomorrow, literally. And I'd probably still be out there foraging and giving away tinctures, you know, and I've done that a lot too. You know, again, I just want to mention this, and then, you know, I'm okay to wrap it up.
Okay.
I understand that, you know, especially just by going by the Etsy model, you know, and Forged and stuff like that, but specifically I'm going to talk about the Etsy model. This is a time of year where you are going to have a lot of newbies out there thinking to make a quick buck and to have a side hustle, because side hustles are the thing now, right?
Yeah.
So they will glean stuff and they will sell you a 1 ounce tincture for like $20. Can you buy that? Absolutely you can, because guess what? I sell 2 ounces for $65, and that is almost half or more of what I normally charge my commercial client. Okay, less, I mean, because those fancy places, those 4 ounce bottles, I'm selling them for almost $300 a bottle. Yeah. Okay, and then they have an upcharge on it. Okay, so when you look at in comparison for prices, okay, can you buy that at $20? This is where I have the problem. Yes, you can. Should you? Probably not.
It's a lot of cheap
because any reputable vendor is never ever going to cover their costs with $20, guys. They're just not. Not only that, when it doesn't work, okay, the thing is with Ghost Pipe, remember, 40 times the amount of salicylic acid than one aspirin. So if you're taking too much of it, okay, in order to even get a benefit, that damages your liver, okay? Salicylic acid builds up and banks in liver, okay? That's how come Tylenol is so dangerous, okay? And the FDA, if they could, they'd pull it off the shelf. We hear about it all the time in medical and nursing schools. That's all they teach us when we start going to pharmacology, about how Tylenol is so dangerous, okay? So know this, women's bodies metabolize differently than men's. So that kind of medicine, if you take too much of it, is stacking in your liver. Guess what else those people are taking? Turmeric, ginger, ashwagandha. By the way, turmeric is an oxalate. You take too much of that and you're prone to kidney stones, guess what? Now you got a whole nother back problem going on, because you're going to think you got back pain and it's really your kidneys. Oh, man. Okay? Same thing, ashwagandha. Ashwagandha is touted as, oh yeah, that's cheap. We'll just get ashwagandha instead of, you know, spending $65 on Ghost Pipe. Ashwagandha, people are having acute liver failures in ER. Acute, meaning they're overdosing their liver so much on ashwagandha, they're showing up in ERs and they're in full-on liver failure, needing transplants. Liver is the only organ that we have in our body that can regenerate. Yeah. Help it. Okay? The reason why the Trinity packs are so important is because Reishi cleans your liver. Okay? Reishi detoxes your liver, but you don't know it. Okay? It's working behind the scenes. Not every Reishi, not every turkey tail either. Because a lot of things that you buy, and you can buy it commercially, those are cultivated mushrooms. Cultivated mushrooms do not have the medicinal optimals like something that you get wild forage that is having that natural vitamin D synthesis going on. Okay?
Yeah.
So if you have chronic pain, you're using ghost pipe for chronic pain and issues, take the turkey tail and reishi too. Because I don't like masking symptoms. I don't like someone, if you're taking it just for anxiety, PTSD, and stuff like that, that's fine, go for it. You got the right to buy each tincture separately. But know this, I named it the Trinity Pack for a reason, okay? Because all of them work together synergistically in harmony to maintain and balance, grasshopper, your health and your mind and your health and your well-being. And reishi, side benefit, the reason why Trinity Pack is so great for somebody that's in perimenopause, menopause, and postmenopause is because reishi is nature's Xanax, guys. It stops those mood swings. So you got somebody that's in menopause, get them a Trinity Pack. You got a kid going off to college. You want to make sure that they're not sick and they can deal with things and be centered. Send them off with a Trinity Pack.
Yeah, it really prevents colds and flus like crazy.
Yes, it really does. You don't get sick, and it helps with allergies. I've even had people tell me that their tinnitus is so diminished that they don't even pay attention to it.
Really helps your immune system. I mean, better than anything I've ever taken consistently. But.
Yes, and this is the last piece as I wrap it up. I'm only speaking of my tinctures. Remember, my tinctures are wild forage. When you buy something commercially cultivated, check, okay? Not only that, it's heavily diluted. So even those commercial companies that sell their stuff in the health food store, they're acting like pharma. They want to keep you a client. You are never really going to see the benefit. You know why? Because you are not getting a therapeutic dose. When I make my turkey tail and my reishi, my ratios are tight. That's why you'll see the mother. That's why all the tags say shake me. Because, especially with the reishi, you're going to see the polysaccharides. Those floaters, that's what they are. That's the medicinals, the polysaccharides. Try to find that in a commercial tincture. It won't happen. You won't find it in a commercial tincture.
No, I like how organic it is.
Yeah, it's all organic. All my stuff is organic.
Yeah, I like that feature. It's not just all straightened out and all the good stuff's not in there anymore.
That's right. So they become exactly what they propose that they hate. So, but the way that we change that conversation and that narrative is to educate the masses and let them know this. Usually it's 1 part alcohol and 5 parts distilled water decoction. That's what those tinctures are. When you get somebody who makes it and does tight ratios and does therapeutic doses, which is what every single one of my tinctures are, it's a complete game changer. So don't buy that $20 ghost pipe. Don't buy that $10 reishi or that $20 turkey tail. Don't do it, okay? Get the good stuff. If you're first trying this for the first time, okay, there's your gauge. Because and with my clients, and this is where, I'm going to end it, I don't want my client ever to be without their therapeutic doses. So if someone's a regular client of mine, you're on my roster, and you've had some financial difficulties or whatever, listen, let your ego go to the side and reach out to me. and say, Janice, listen, I had this come up. There's a lot of stuff that come up. I stretch payments out for people all the time, or if there's something that's an emergent that's going, just talk to me, because I'll send you out a free 2-ounce Trinity pack. If you normally get Trinity packs every month, guess what? You may get a freebie from me, because what I care about more is your health. Remember, that's my ethos. That's my sentiment. That's why I do this. It's the health. It's not about, the money, because God knows, people that are good like this, we don't make a lot of money, because it's wild forage. It's not like we can go mainstream and all of a sudden have our picture on bottles all over in every store. That would go against what I'm telling you. It would go against the benefit of having therapeutic
there's no such thing as a ghost pipe forager or mushroom forager that's retired and gets to sit up in his office. And
no.
if there is, they're doing it right, huh? I don't know.
Right. So always, okay. I think today, this morning I looked. I am the only 5-star bestseller for Ghost Pipe. I have 100% shipping, communication, and transactions.
Congratulations.
100%. Okay.
I'm not sure what mine is. I think I'm like a 4.8 on something. I broke somebody's cup. I shipped them.
I don't know. It's the same thing. Man. It's the same thing on eBay.
It's like I gotta stop using my eBay account for my other stuff. I gotta have them separate. But my other eBay account's nice.
I think
these little shops are fun to own. They're fun to play with, fun to list things. We sell, me and my fiance and I sell like glassware and things like that from time to time. So it's always fun to like list some new items on like a Sunday afternoon, go upstairs in our little area and list some things and adjust descriptions or just play around. Like I don't know, it's cool, but. Jan, I'm going to wrap it up, right? We're at an hour 20 on Facebook.
Let's wrap it up.
And we're at,
listen, the bottom line, the bottom line is read everybody's reviews. And somebody mentioned this week in one of the forums, they said, oh, those are bot reviews. No, they're not. Etsy reviews are generated per transaction.
Yeah, they're pretty
accurate. They're very accurate. It's not like Amazon.
Yeah, and if you send someone something crappy, they'll leave a crappy review. It's easy to do.
Yeah, no, but listen, when you're a bestseller and it's been on Etsy as long as I have and stuff like that, somebody try. Listen, there are vendors out there that will buy your tincture and then want to write a bad review just to bring your numbers down.
Yeah.
That's where great concierge Etsy service comes in. Okay, because they know the players behind the scene, and they stop those. They stop those from happening. And whether they say that
I haven't had a scammer in a long time on Etsy, to be honest with you. At first I did, but not a long time. But yeah, everybody, thanks for joining. And
yes, go out and forage. Eat your mushrooms. Keep your hands to yourself.
I'll talk to you later, everybody listening afterwards.
Thanks for listening
afterwards. All right, so we're still rolling on my recording. So Facebook Live show is over. Not too many viewers on there. We had 2 viewers, huh? That was maybe more throughout the show, but
listen,
Mondays aren't our usual crowd, man. We had to push it back.
No,
right?
We had to push it back because I went on that Reishi run.
Yeah,
and that Reishi run, like I was telling you earlier, it was a lot of work cutting those bad boys up. But once I got them done and I got them dehydrated, everything's done. So that works out nice.
Shout out if anybody hung out this long into the recording. You are the true survivors, and our 9 people in our Spotify account, you're the OGs of the OGs. And we will talk to you soon. I'll see you.
Have a good night, everybody.